Achampong, producer at BBC. Got into the music industry from really DJing, did a lot of pirate, did a lot of, I did some mobile DJing back in the day, and bedroom DJing, so just loving music, getting involved, meeting different people else and music, and share similar dreams, and yeah. For me, the biggest barrier trying to succeed in the music industry is really just one of perception, actually seeing how much of the music industry is there available to you. When I started, I'm into black music, urban music, whatever it's called now. So my vision was pretty much what was happening in urban music is what was open to me. I didn't realise there was a lot bigger, I started off DJing, so I met a lot of rock DJs or indie DJs. They started to open different venues up to me or different record shops, On the bigger picture, when you look outside your genre or your frame of reference, there's a lot more open to you. Then you start to not just look wider, but you start to look higher. How can I be in a position where I don't just have to deal with hip-hop music, I can deal with hip-hop, rock, R&B. You need to be a little bit higher up the ladder, have a bigger focus on things. One of the solutions to the barrier is really getting outside your comfort zone, really pushing yourself. If you're a hip-hop producer and you go to an open mic night, because sometimes you get to these events where there'll be some girl in acoustic guitar, and if you really appreciate what they've done, get in touch with them, go down to the studio, work with them, get something going which is a little bit outside yourself. Just stretch yourself, because you never know, you might discover a new sound, might open yourself up to a new market. Three things. One, know your equipment. Don't get equipment envy. Don't think, well, because Timberland uses this and that, I need to get this and that. Whatever you bought from the second-hand shop or however you got it, beat that machine till such a point where it can't even stretch you anymore, because you've done everything possible you can with that piece of equipment. Because once you start to know the ins and outs of the equipment you have, as well as not relying on what the equipment can do, you start to pull more out of yourself and say, well, what can I do with this piece of equipment? I produce with Pro Tools, but there isn't a single wave editing software that I could look at now and not know what to do with. People come to me and say, have you used this equipment? No, of course I haven't. But if it's wave editing software, I know how it works. So I will look into that and somehow I'll be able to find a solution. Secondly, always, always, always be bigger than you expect to be. Don't keep your mind down. Always expect to do bigger. If you're working with 16 tracks, think, how can I make this work better with 32 tracks? And you don't have to have the 32 tracks, but at least you have that vision. If you're talking about recording certain vocals, you've got a 3-part harmony, what would it sound like with a 6-part harmony? Just sometimes, I know pressure's on sometimes with work and stuff you're doing, but if you're doing 2 sets of ad-libs, what would it sound like with 4? What could we do with 4? Just do 1 verse, which has just got 4 sets of ad-libs. Just push yourself a little harder. You're doing a 20-minute mix, well, how can I make that 20-minute mix a 40-minute mix without losing the intensity of the 20-minute mix? Give it a try. See how you can push yourself, because by pushing yourself a little bit further, you might not be able to go all the way, but just by going a little bit further. Thirdly, always meet new people, because new people will inspire you daily. Don't stay in your comfort zone. Don't stay in hip-hop, don't stay in R&B, don't stay in reggae. Meet new people from all over the place. Go to classical music gigs. There's a lot of free gigs out there. Go to, find a local theatre, local initiative. A lot of those things do free gigs. As long as you can pay for your beer or pay for whatever, just get there, check them out, meet people, talk to people. I like what you did there. Don't be afraid to. You don't need to know Paganinis and Rachmaninoffs, and just chat to people and say, yeah, I like what you did there. That thing that you did where the thing was I like that. What's that all about? And they'll talk to you. People who have passion will talk to you, and you will learn a lot about this whole thing.